primary and nursery. And we're looking to start a secondary school. What we want with our secondary school is an entrepreneurship academy, where kids in secondary school start understanding that you can be in GSS2. We'll give them a coursework of doing a business plan and thinking about strategy of how to raise money and how to build wealth and how to raise finance and manage debt. And those are the core of curriculums you need to start teaching them. So you don't want a teeny child in this generation that will come in and say, there's wealth in everything. Like looking at the entire ecosystem we've created from just toys, bed sheets, we grow mattress, duvets. So today we have over 600 and something SKUs. Wow. So from just one product. So I think it's very important that we need to understand that compounding, bootstrapping, these are the things that every person needs for them to understand that this is what they need to be able to build wealth. And education is just keep emphasizing on these things to our kids. And make sure your kids are traveling, even if it's the same. I went to Uyo and knew that they have beautiful bananas. Imagine I had that before when we were doing the supermarket. All I need to just do is just to set up a warehouse and a cold chain logistic business in Uyo. Do you understand? Whenever I go to Uyo, there's a place called Oron. They have some very nice fish. Because of the community we were serving with White Tree Supermarket, that was an eye-opener for me that Nigerians, we're very smart people, but we're not very serious people. Especially with the people that have the capital. There's a lot of idle funds everywhere. And so when I meet some of my friends, I'm like, why are you going to invest in the real sector? And they're like, there are not too many trustworthy people. I don't want to stress myself. I'd rather the money just be in a particular bank and yielding interest. When we're running supermarkets, we're bringing in salmon fish from Billy's Gate in Canary Wharf. Because we had a lot of customers who wanted salmon fish. And the salmon fish was sold £8 per kg. At that time, pounds in 2021 was like 800 naira. And it was about 6 kilos. So we had an arrangement in Virgin Atlantic. And he leaves London at 10 p.m. at night, arrives Nigeria at 5 a.m. We have a logistic company that brings this drink to our coder. And I was wondering, I went to every person selling salmon fish, every supermarket in Lagos. They were selling the cheapest kg they were selling. The biggest supplier was selling at 23,000 naira. And my salmon fish was landing at 9,000 naira. Yes. So I'm not like, if I sell it at 30-40% margin, 15k, it's still okay. But you know what I was saying to myself? If I sell it at that, people will say my own is fake.
It's fake.
My own is, maybe I brought it. I said, let me just gain and sell for 23,000 naira. So you can see what lack of competition can do to this economy. So you just see people. So, and I was bringing by effort. And I was paying about £4 per kg at that time. These people bringing in bulk are bringing the sea container. So the cost is spread and it's supposed to be cheaper. Yet they were selling for 23,000. So there's just too many sectors that they are taking advantage of Nigerians. And unfortunately, people that really have the capital are just okay. I call them briefcase billionaires. They're just okay with doing rent seeking, building houses and collecting rent, and that's all. But there's so much jobs that we can create in the real sector.
Yes, sir.
If you create a logistic hub, a cold chain logistic hub, in somewhere like Oro, and just concentrate on supplying restaurants and hotels, fish, seafood, you don't even need to do so much. Restaurants and hotels, just call you fisherman supplier. Just name it that trademark, that name, that's enough to build a billionaire business. That's enough. just bring in seafood. Just have 20 suppliers in Oron and build one cold room there and say, okay, if you can carry all the fish, just put here, we buy it by kilo. You don't need to go and fish it. Get the fish yourself. Just buy it from people that are doing it and put it in the cold room and just transport to Lagos. That's enough business to give you $1 billion.
Thank you so much. Let's be outstanding. I think we need to do an exercise, a quick exercise right now. Everybody, call your name. Say Francisca. Hold on, because when you're calling your names, it's obvious you don't know who you are. Listen, Francisca is freedom fighter, emancipator. I'm here to help you. I'm your solution. I don't know who you are. So if you know you don't know who you are, just call my name. Say Francisca. I cannot get. I said Francisca. All I need is around me to succeed.
All I need is around me to succeed.
Hear me. I said Francisca. I say again, Francisca. Hear me today. Say yourself. Say Francisca. Hear me today. All I need to make my billions. Is around me. No, you're not moving. No, say it's around me. Say Francisca, look. Francisca, look. Are you all ready to look?
Yes, ma'am.
Because it is only when you seek, you will find. We have not been finding because we have not been seeking. Please, a round of applause. I'm very old with you today. It's settled. I'll just give you as much somebody yes. So please, let's have our seats. And the next question, sir, please, we're not done. Okay, hold on.
Thank you so much, sir. Such an insightful time listening to you. I have 2 questions. Number 1 is understanding the various businesses you run. How have you been able to mitigate risk, knowing that there are risks in the business? And I'm going to share a few things just to buttress my point. Number 1, you already run an e-commerce business. You run, hospitality business. There are definitely risks, especially when you have to invest into something, not knowing where. So how have you been able to mitigate risk across all the chains of your businesses? That's number 1. Number 2 is I know that one of the things I do personally is I study people. I've studied you, and I know that you have relationships. I think I was watching one of your birthdays, part of you had, the local government chairman. So you build relationships across as you grow in business. Have you been able to maintain your relationships? Have you been able to, what are the ingredients, if I would use that word, what are the ingredients as an entrepreneur that you've been able to put into your business and you've drawn such relationships and you have maintained them over the years?
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So let me start with the last question. Relationship. So there's a book I read in 2011 called Thinking Like a Billionaire. I advise everybody to go read that book. It was written by a guy called Scott Anderson. What I learned in that book is one of the things that I've been using today. And especially with managing and building relationships with a lot of people who have access and influence. I think I have always made sure that I bring in value to the table in every relationship that we've had with everybody. So, for example, so there are a couple of people. I remember there was sometime in 2012. I did some things for a very top government agency, and they owed me for about 2 years, and this was a lot of money, and I borrowed money from them, Diamond Bank, and I was in debt, and everything that just was coming in, we're just using it to pay the bank, and we're struggling liquidity-wise. So, and in one of these gifts, the agency presented this gift to very top traditional rulers. And this top traditional ruler's daughter, she was my friend at that time. We were in UK together. And she sent me a message and said, oh, these people just gave my dad this gift. So I said, should I tell her that they haven't paid for this gift? So I said, no, even this gift they gave to your dad, they've not paid me for this gift. I told her the story that this gift almost sent me bankrupt. And I did, this very amazing artifact gift for them. So, and she said, should I tell my dad? I said, please do. And before she told her that, I sent a gift. And the dad did a handwritten letter present to this as a traditional ruler in Nigeria. And my phones were ringing. Come and take your money. Come and take your money. So I know the power of network, and it's being the most important thing. In my mission statement, there was so much emphasis on relationship building. Even on our website, I don't joke with relationships. I don't wait for the day that I need an assistant to check up on someone. And my EA will say the monies that we spend on gifting every year can set up a business. For me, it's part of the thing that we just added as a business to say, you know what, every year, Christmas, birthdays, we just keep sending out. And we're sending out is not because we're expecting to give back. Just recently, the last 2-3 years, I said, look, so as we're building our ecosystem, I said, you know what, we need to fortify our finance team. So I said, look, I went to Uniben. I have a lot of friends who are now lecturers, HODs and dean. I need to leverage on that. So I reached out to them and said, you know what, I want you guys to send us your first class graduates every year, 5 for internship program. We'll create that slot. And we've been doing it, and it's helped us, our current head of account in the school came from that internship program. So imagine that. I just thought lecturers are not, they don't have what to give to me. They are not governors, or they are not. So this is the sort of network that I have. So from government agencies to regulators to business people to lawyers. The day I need that lawyer, the day I need that OPC guy, the day I need that businessman, the day I need that regulator, that politician. So these are the things that I think that they've also seen our sincerity in our relationship. And we're there. 2 days ago, I flew for somebody that lost someone. He was my friend, and he's that guy, and he has died almost 20 years ago. So I had to go for his dad's burial. So I didn't go for the burial because he died when we were in uni. But his dad died 2 months ago. So I went even when my friend was not alive. Do you understand? So it's not, relationship is not only also know how loyal you can be to them. So somebody tomorrow can say, oh, is my friend because I have, or is we're going to be there even if I'm not there? Important. I've taught myself how to be less, right? So yes, also in the sense that you want to work really hard, but I've conquered poverty in my mind, not because of money, but because I know that I don't need so much. So it's about what are we going to be remembered for, and what sort of relationship are we building? Are we there for people? And I think when you begin to see things, and you also need to realize potentials. Sometimes some friends do not have just. So there's a story about my family, and there was this lecturer. He was a lecturer in Osun State University. At that time, they just created Osun State University, and he was made in DVC. And this lecturer was in architecture in Edo State University. Then, see, my dad's friend, we come to the house, and suddenly, they played draft together, and from nowhere, we went to a national conference in 1994. Before this was Abacha meeting the Minister of Works at that time. He was when made Minister of State for Agriculture. So I have seen with that meteoric rise, I have seen how much underestimate people. People are intelligent. So they might not have today, but they have access. I have friends who are very resourceful that I can call at 11 p.m. at night and say, there's this strategy we need to do. We are setting up. Right now we are launching a sports academy. And in the next couple of days, we're going to be launching a sports academy like a sports club. So that sports academy, we just built it, and there's a football club. So we are starting a league competition, like a Premier League. So there's a football club, there's a swimming pool, there's a basketball court, there's a lawn tennis. So the whole idea is to create a membership, and it's woven into it Esorae prestige. So when you are a customer of Esorae, you can get free membership to the transport facility, the wellness center, where it's tying everything together. Right? So this is the sort of relationship that I feel. A lot of customers have become my friends. And you need to also be a good conversation starter to be able to. One of the things that we teach people in our school, we don't want to encourage or have kids that are timid and say, oh, I'm shy. No, that's not. You need a social skill for a conversation starter in this generation for you to be able to build that relationship. And people must see that genuineness. And you need to be able to offer value. And you need to be there for people. Genuinely there for people. And I see that sometimes only when I remember when in the journey of Esorae, there's some celebrities at that time who stood by us, and that's why I have so much respect for them. We signed up RMB this last year as our brand ambassador, and I remember that it looks like, so before when we started doing a lot of marketing campaigns, a lot of people were coming. I said, I can do brand ambassador for you, I can do this. But for us, it was natural for us to choose R&B. R&B was just doing all the ads for us for free. He never asked us for a penny. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, he's been doing all these things for us for free. So now, all best of an ambassador. Sorry, oh, okay. So risk is not something that you finish litigate. It's a continuous thing. So I think that so because of my finance experience, I'm very big in building finance thing, and I think internal control measures is one of those things, especially with our kind of business. At one point, I didn't even know the amount of inventory that I have. So, but thank God that we are on top of it now. So I think when it comes to risk, first thing is to transfer manage. So transfer to insurance companies to make sure that God forbid there's a fire hazard, there's theft, insurance companies are handling that, right? So the other risk, which is stealing, petty, those little ones. I think that as the economy is getting tougher, you will keep seeing those sort of things, right? It's just to make sure that you put some controls in place, and also try as much as possible to create incentives for people who are doing the right things, but you still definitely see some badly behaved people. But I think what is important is to have a control thing in place and making them understand. Sometimes, really with auditors that are coming from a place that is not retail, so what you need really to be successful when it comes to managing risk is street sense and intelligence and academic intelligence. Street sense is very important because if you do not have that street sense, there are a lot of things that doesn't look like it's wrong, but it's actually wrong, right? And somebody makes it look like it's a mistake and say, oh, you're coming to and say, I want to buy this mattress. It's always now the town. I say, scan it and say, oh, sorry, 700 was a mistake. So they are still going to have those bad eggs in the system. But I think what is just important is to have a control measure in place. So as you get them, you keep flushing them out of the system. And also encourage them rewarding those people who are trustworthy. It's tough. It's tough. I won't, especially because we still have a small business like a restaurant. And those sort of businesses are kind of volatile. So you just put a percentage to left hand across, just so that your margins are healthy enough to absorb it. So it's a tough environment. So you find out that you get to a point where you're now looking like you are setting some. So we have to do a budget section and just make some percentage and call it wastage. You know that, especially with some kind of business that has certain products. So like a restaurant, for example, those things will happen. But again, we just need to make sure that your margins are healthy enough to accommodate them. You can't monitor everything. It's really difficult to eliminate risk in this difficult time where there's so much poverty. Yeah. And all that. So it's just to make sure you reduce them so they don't hurt you so much.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. I can say I'm blessed to be in this room. And, sir, in all of you have been saying, you've been mentioning very hard. Yes. How they made it so hard for basically anybody, or let me just say young business owner like myself. So how do you think we can actually how can we get there? Or how can we get there, yes, in this economy?
Okay, thank you. At the mission stage, I talked about capability. And capability sometimes is not necessarily that you have to build a factory. You can also do some form of partnership. So about 3 days ago, I was trying to do a material design for one of our real estate projects. And I sent it to an interior designer in Nigeria. And she sent me back the bill. I wrote 6.7 million for a 3D interior design. And so there's this company I met them online. They're in China. So on that same Saturday, I sent them the floor plan. Sorry, this happened on Thursday last week. So I sent them the floor plan on Friday, and they charged me $300. And I paid. They sent me the entire design that the Nigerian company was going to carry 6.7
7 million for.
for $300. And I keep saying that we say recognize local, but a lot of our business people don't understand that they are living in the global world, right? Competitiveness is global. Right? You're telling me 6.7 million, and when I take that price and put it in a real estate project, somebody will say it's overpriced. Why would you charge me 6.7 million for a software that I paid $29 for? That you can actually, so we don't understand pricing strategy. And that's the big problem. So they'll rather sell one and just say, I'm bigger than the customer that determine whether they're bigger. Do you understand? It's your customer that will determine whether you're bigger. So you can't come and just throw me a bill of 6.7 million and say, because I should fund your lifestyle. That's not business. Because it's about value exchange at the end of the day. So if you're charge me what is competitive enough that you can drive volume. So when you're looking at that fabric thing that you're talking about, I see it, I have a huge challenge with infrastructure. We can't, so for us, we can't invest in the entire value chain, right? So for products that we do not have the capacity to make, right? The technology behind our mattress is too complicated, and we don't have the engineering to do that. But we can make the blankets, the duvets, the mattress covers. So we identify the ones that we can buy the equipment to make, right? And because we look at it and say the components that makes up this mattress, even the pocket spring, the engineering behind it. So we need to still import steel to make that pocket spring. So what's the point? We're just going to be an assembling company. So after spending so much money and say, I'll build a factory to do assembly, right? So the ones that we can absorb, the cost that we can produce. So I think for us to just look for, I know that we're talking about Turkish fabric. Even the Turkish fabric that we're talking about, sometimes some of these fabric are not even made in Turkey. On the factory in Italy some years ago, and 2023, and I saw a scarf. This factory made scarves for Louis Vuitton. And a meter of that scarf that they produce for Louis Vuitton is 38 euros for a meter. And Louis Vuitton uses half a meter to make this scarf. And they sell that scarf for about $400-500. Right? So what they've done is positioning branding about conception.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important that we need to, as business owners, play the lead and long-term game. Because when any business that cannot scale, I try not to even want to be in that space because competition will swallow you. If you can't scale that business, because you just see, sometimes people that don't understand retail will probably just look and say, why Necklace just opening? I remember when Necklace opened his store beside us in 2021, and I asked them, they told me that that particular store was their 38th store in 2021. And just recently, they opened the store and I asked them, what number are you? They say 142. So in 4 years, they did over 90 stores, right? They were wondering, well, you know what they're trying to do? It's attack and defend. A boots in UK do not think about coming to this state without sitting down with the vendors to say, what's up? Did we acquire them to make our life easy? So you have to play an attack and defend. You don't defend in the business game. So when we play, so today Esorae factory can produce 1,713 duvets in 1 day. Right? All the tailors in Yaba cannot produce more than 200 degrees. So we can produce 1,713 degrees. See, the game is capacity. It's nothing else. It's just capacity. So what you can do is, I know I've seen some very local fabrics. I know a lot of top Nigerian brands now buy local fabrics. And they are making some very healthy margins. 300%, 100%. Right? But I think it's still exploitation. But they are making it and they are doing well. So you can, because the truth is, there are many Nigerian fabrics. So if you go to parties in Texas, in Atlanta during summer, the Nigerians are happy. So it's a big thing to wear Nigerian fabric. So while you're here, you don't value that, right? But if you go to those parties during the summer holiday, they want to have it. They know you are coming. Please, can you help me buy this? Can you help me buy this? Can you help me buy this? So we can begin to look at that. There's AGOA Treaty, African Growth and Opportunity Act. You can export to the US without paying duty. Not many Nigerians know that. And Tesla is part of it. So you can, just read about it. It's a treaty to encourage African entrepreneurs. So I think there are just too many opportunities where you can look and just say, let's even just ignore this particular fabric. Let's focus on the ones that are local. And there are so many, without trying to advertise Nigerian brands, I just don't want to mention it, but there are so many Nigerian local brands that are getting it right, honestly, when it comes to local fabrics. And I think you need to just look for how to also tell the story. But storytelling is part of the things that connect people to a brand more. People that begin to see, understand, who are you making for? You probably will just be making for. I met recently who told me that she's making for Christian women. Nice, sexy clothes for Christian women that are not open, but are also, so our target audience and niche is very specific. So what she needs to just do is just to get audiences with churches and things like that. You can see how specific. So by the time you want to make the same thing with what is Zara, you can't compete with Zara. Do you understand? Why do you want to do that? Because you will just be consumed with that competition. You want to compete with people that already have the capability and infrastructure. When there are many sectors and gaps that are not yet been occupied. I mentioned about Pineapple, for example, some fine hotels. You will be surprised that these hotels are still going to the market to buy their things when somebody could have just designed and say, I'm a procurement company, and just say, this. I have a margin spread. What is important is penetration. Do you understand? That's just what is important. That penetration. So, so when you see a brand like Nestle, and Nestle comes and say they are selling bottled water, what is the most common thing in building a brand that people can trust? Whatever you roll as brand extension will sell. Yeah. So get the access to these businesses and say, this is what we do. And people trust the integrity of what you do. Know that you won't cut corners. And that trust that they have extends to other brands. Coca-Cola did not start, they started with Coke. And they added Fanta, right? And that's how businesses grow. And that's long-term game is what I think we need to have behind us, whenever we are designing the business strategy. And I think with local fabrics, your style, the accessories, you can import some accessories and just add your accessories and make it different. While everybody's doing this route, you are doing this route. And that differentiation is what is exactly where the story is. Thank you. Thanks.
That's simply amazing. And so unconsciously and unknowingly, you actually spoke about my brand. Please everyone look at me. Classy, beautiful, royal. Yes, you can actually get this for a good amount, See me after this. Oh yes. Thank you so much. So the last question. Wrap it up.
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I came here
after listening to you.
Give a round of
My notes is full, and I don't know, like, I feel like I'm supposed to have paid for this information. Thank you very much. God bless you. So, part of what you said, actually, I'm an accountant, a baby accountant, actually. And I introduced myself by saying that I'm a that's my niche. That means particularly gain legitimate recognition for culture and hospital practices. That's what I want to do. Okay, so while in school, I partnered with my lawyer uncle. He taught me just a little bit about CC registration, and I hacked it. He does not do annual returns better than all of you, so I learned that on my own. So anytime he now has those jobs, he just pass them to me and I do them. So I figured all through my journey in school, I didn't really have to call money for money because already I'm sorted just by providing that service. So I now want to take it a bit further because I realized that a lot of SMEs have this nonchalant attitude when it comes to their bookkeeping practices. So I figured that, okay, instead of just providing excellent CC services, because a lot of my clients now are just based on referral. I'll go to Alada, she's exceptional. I'll go to Kinekon, she's exceptional. I don't have to do much regarding advertising and so. And I'm a good writer too. I use storytelling to push the brand, but then I don't do that as much because my referrals already take care of that. So yes, my question is, how do I go into like helping businesses in terms of their finances now? Because that's where I want to focus on. So after providing the CAC services for them and they are legitimately registered, I want to take it a step further by, you don't really have to like get an accountant in your company, because a lot of them really think they have to do that before they can get their books right. So how about you outsource that to me? I'll take care of that at like a very small.
You're asking how you position yourself.
Yes.
Why you are registering.
Exactly. Yes. That's my first question. The second question is you mentioned that for product-based business, you have to have three things. You mentioned product quality, product pricing, and speed. For service-based business like my own, what are those three things? Okay, same thing applies. And the third thing, how do we join your mentee?
very important.
Thank you so much. Well, let's take the last question so you wrap it up.
Thank you very much. I'm aligned with what you said. This is more than 2 years in terms of the service. The quality, yes. Thank you very much. So I would like to ask this question. I think I asked the question, but maybe I'll just pick one. The first one, maybe the first one is that there are instances, like you mentioned the other time, you said that there are organizations or people that have money and they would rather keep the money in the bank because they don't trust other people that say they have ideas. So if you have the funds, how do you identify those people that genuinely have identified opportunities and will make use of what you give to them, what you invest in their business very well? Because I have someone of recent that invested in someone that had an idea, and he gave the person some millions, and the guy went to use the money to do that. Yes, he brought the papers and like for the first few months he was reporting on the movement in terms of what he had done and things like that, the profits and well, when he got to I think maybe he got on the 5th month, he didn't have anything to say. He just started saying he was robbed in the bank and fraud was at fraud. When you now